All right, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you guys. And I gotta say, this is not gonna be a long review. I gotta say what I gotta say, and I gotta say it kind of fast. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I gotta get this out. I'm so disappointed in the production crew over on uh, Bravo's network. And this goes for Married to Medicine, which is this season. I just chose not to even watch. It's just not even anywhere near entertaining enough for me to even watch at this point. And the way that they have treated Mariah uh, have completely disgusted me. And you can tell this season that they struggled. They struggled. That's like the Waka and Tammy show. They struggled with telling their own business to the point where they pretty much lived their season on Charlie's love life. That baby is all of 15 years old. Okay. So I just get those vibes. I get struggle vibes and desperation vibes from Bravo when they do stuff like what they did. I cannot. So anyway, let's go into the season. It started, everything seemed all good. We know that Mark and let's talk about the good things first. The good thing. The good thing. Mark and Cynthia Hill. I'm sorry, Mike and Cynthia Hill. They were, hey Shell, they were um they were getting married. So we know that that was good. Okay. Other than that, what else was good? Somebody please tell me. Please tell me because Portia and Dennis were working on their relationship. Mark and Kenya, we already know that's a train wreck. Candy and Todd ain't done nothing different than they've been doing. What? Marlo, she's raising kids. What? They didn't even show that on the show. This is how unrealistic this season of Real Housewives of Atlanta was. The show was nowhere near even on point to these ladies' real lives. And that is what is sad. And also, that is what keeps Kenya thinking that she can act a fool in any circumstance on this show because of the heavy editing. She knows that by next season, these women can't really be mad when they watch that episode back because the editing is so fucking heavy. You never know what happened. I'm sorry I cursed. Excuse me. The editing is so heavy, you never know what may have happened on the show. And it's just really, to me, it's a sad thing because we never got the chance to see Latoya Ali breaking up with her fiance, or I'm sorry, her husband, Adam Ali. We never got the chance to see Mark and Kenya's real situation. We got Kenya's narrative and her lawyer's narrative of what happened. And we all know that that is not anywhere near realistic. We never saw Marlo with her children. We never saw Tanya with her husband. We never saw these things on this season at all. These are things that we're hearing around the outside of the television show. Why? Because they're not realistic on the show. And it's sad that we, as the viewers, we have to sit here and put two and two together to really get a full scope of what's actually happening on the show. Poor people don't have social media. They will never know. They will never know. They thinking, oh, well, Dennis must be mad at Portia because, Kenya said she slept with Bolo. Well, guess what? Dennis and Portia was posing yesterday in they Happy Mother's Day pictures. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, and they seem to be very cordial and on a good note with one another. And thank goodness, because that's the only child they got. I cannot see a woman that would want to spread a rumor about another woman who she knows has one child, struggling with one child, same position, and that's that man's one child. But see, misery goes a long way, and we'll get into that. Anyway, I want to know how many of you guys miss Nene this season. So many people said they miss so many people. Phaedra is supposed to be coming back next season. How do you guys feel about that? I can't wait till this channel gets on a level where I can do some polls and everything. Because I'm like, dude, I need to really do some polls on this channel. There's so much stuff that I want to do on my community tab. I can't do any of that yet. So guys, please make sure that you share the content so that people can be more in tune with this channel and know that it does exist and that I can eventually get to where I'm trying to go. But anyways, so now let's talk about it. Let's talk about the meat and potatoes. I'm not getting ready to drag on like they did the reunion. They dragged that and dragged that. That reunion was ridiculous to drag. Why did they drag the pretty much the issue of Bolo, Kenya's marriage, and just other stuff that just wasn't nothing. First of all, they didn't show none of Candy's real life this season. Let's talk about that. None of Candy's real life was shown. We got to see Candy as a mistress and outside of her household, really, for the most part. There was nothing realistic about this season at all. Was not a reality show. This was heavily edited, heavy produced, and that was sad. That was sad. That was like watching a series of what do you call that? Like a soap opera. That's what that was. That was like a soap opera. Okay, that was so ridiculous. But anyway, so okay, really what happened in the season? Drew, her marriage. Yeah, okay. They started off showing us that. They quickly got tired of showing us that. I mean, it just was like one thing to the next. It was like, oh, they're having problems. Skip, they're all good. He's in support. Skip, and it just was crazy. It just seemed to me to be so made up at the beginning, to her walking off, the crying and all of that was fake. None of that was real. And to me, it just was ridiculous. Okay, absolutely ridiculous the way that that the show produced all of the storylines for this season. They just produced everything. They didn't leave anything to happenstance to happen, except for the fact that these ladies might not like each other. And that was the only realistic thing that happened this season. So sad. They didn't show none of Mike Hill's children. They didn't really show what was going on with Noel. There was nothing realistic. I don't like that. Okay, it bothers me, as you guys can see. All right, but when it comes to Drew's marriage, they skipped so quick into from one dynamic to another. I really didn't know what kind of image they actually were trying to give her. But that's up to the people in the editing department to make it. They're going to give. I'm sure Drew and her husband Ralph gave them arguments. I'm sure they gave them good scenes, and they decided to show what they decided to show. And I'm sure they had to shoot those arguments over and over again. I was on the set of Khloe Kardashian's Revenge Body, so I know they make you do it over and over, okay? Even if it's a fight, they make you do it over and over. It's like, damn. But at least Love and Hip Hop let Erica Mena naturally sock that girl Tiffany in her face when she was trying to spy on her and lick her cootie cat for rich dollars. Okay, so but I'm just saying, this show on Bravo, this Real Housewives of Atlanta, none of it was real. It was It made me not want to watch, and thank goodness they didn't have that many episodes. I gotta say that. Okay, anyway, back to Ralph, back to Drew. Okay, Ralph and Drew, they seem to be a nice couple. The storyline switched fast, and then we went to her son. I thought it was in poor taste that Kenya was even tweeting about her son, period. It doesn't matter what, I don't care what it was that happened between her and her child, or her child's father, or the fact that her child was going to see his father and she was being dramatic on camera and wanted to ask him questions and all of that stuff. You never know what type of conversation Drew had with her son off camera before this. Like, okay, you guys, the cameras are coming this morning. We got to be a little dramatic this morning, but just be natural. Try to be your natural self. Be a little, turn it up a little bit, but just don't try to overdo it. You never know what kind of conversation Drew might have had with her son. And for Kenya to retweet, let your son go sit down. And I'm not going to lie, I was saying the same thing. Y'all heard me say the same thing during that episode. I think I did a review of that episode, because I didn't do a review on every episode. But because it just was like, wow, it just was so, anyway. But I said the same thing. However, as a cast member, okay, as a castmate, I think that Kenya tries to run these women off. I watched the way she treated Kim Fields, and I will never, ever, ever forget that. I will never forget the way that she treated Kim Fields for no reason, because Kim Fields is a star and a legend, and she came down to a level of reality show, and Kenya was like, yeah, what you want to do down here, bitch, basically. Kenya was like, what's up, you down here now, I'm finna mistreat you. And it was just like, why? you know why? I don't understand it. But like I said, misery loves company, and clearly we don't even need to be clear. We could be cold blood blue, we could be sandy brown, we could be white, we could be black, you can even be gray. Okay. Hi Brandis, Douglas, what's up, Rashida and Shell, I see you guys. Okay, you could be all of these things, and clearly she's miserable because misery loves company. And this woman here, this Kenya Moore, and the way that she treats these new cast members is ridiculous. Now, by the way, during the third episode of the reunion, Drew brought that up. She said, you didn't even give me a chance. She said, I was so excited to meet you, and by the time I walked through the door, LaToya was already on my head. But she did. She called her a stray. She actually did, and that's very true. And I felt that. I felt that coming from Drew. But also, I gotta say, Drew disappointed me this season. She really did, and I like Drew Sidora. I really do. I really do. I really do. But Drew Sidora, she looked not only like a hypocrite, but also like a drama queen, like a I don't even like a backstabber. She made herself look bad. What's up, bro? George in the house, VIPT George. She made herself look really bad this season. Okay, first of all right, we all know that Kenya was entirely too worried about Portia's vajayjay. However, Kenya was deflecting all season, and I think everybody knows that. She got a man that don't want her. She has no choice but to try to make somebody look bad with her. She looks that bad, and she know it. But she need that check. Period. Okay. Drew, she called herself such a church woman, right? And I'm not mad at church women doing their thing, have fun with your husband and whoever your husband allows you to be with. But Drew was dropping it like it was hot, doing the crybaby. Okay. In a realm of devilish, lustful, demonish behavior, then took that energy home to her husband. Okay. And then not only that, began to hypocrisize. Oh, yeah, not prophesize. Hypocrisize. Come on, somebody. Herself. Because she began to worry about LaToya's vagina in the same way that she contested Kenya being worried about Portia's vagina. And that made me upset. That made me not look at Drew the same way. It really did. It made me look at her sideways AF. Because what would be the reason for that, Drew Sidora? What would be the reason that, you have all of this energy for Kenya and blah, blah, blah. Then you turn around and then you do the same exact things that she's doing. And then, I'm sorry, by the third episode, she was apologizing for that raggedy wig. Let me tell you something. There isn't a person on earth that can hide the fact that Drew Sidora does not yet have the budget that the other ladies have. And I don't think that they should have made that a point of contention for her this season, because they all know that. We all got the chance to see all of them looking crazy, as Candy pointed out in the first reunion. We got the point to see all of them looking a certain way on their first couple of seasons. Why? Because they ain't got that $75,000 per episode yet. Let her get her bag first. You know what I'm saying? They got that $150,000 per episode. And I think Candy Burris is being paid like $1 million an episode. That girl's getting paid. Mm-hmm. You know why? Because she giving them hella storyline. They can really take a lot of storyline from Candy if they wanted to. And they took none. They show her leniency and pay her more. It's crazy to me. They could have taken a lot of storyline from her home life, her daughter's life. They could have taken it from Todd's life, his storyline with struggling with his mom, anything, Ace's life. They could have took a storyline from her surrogate or any of her employees, any of her shops that she works at, Candy Coated Nights, her blog, her anything. And they chose not to. They still show Candy the leniency that they don't show anybody else, but pay her the most because she's still giving the most, and they still don't show it. I don't get it. I don't get that. I do not get that. I swear to goodness, I don't get it. They could be all that OLGs, all of that stuff. All that stuff. Obviously, like we saw last season when Sincerely was on there. They could have, kept Sincerely on there. And that could have been a storyline to argue with Portia or, whoever. Sincerely could have came and apologized to Portia and became a housewife. We didn't get to see nothing really. This season was horrible. Oh, it just was really bad. It just was really bad. It was really, really bad. I mean, just bad. Okay. But anyway, so yeah, I felt like Drew Sidora and what she did, she hypocrisized herself. Not only that, I feel like Candy hypocrisized herself too, because her brand is all about free sexuality, and she played both sides of the fence. This whole season, Candy played both sides of the fence, and it pissed me off. It made me upset because I don't understand how it is that you are playing two sides. First, you're cool with this girl. You're playing you got this stripper. You guys live in the same type of lifestyle, blah, 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 blah. You know how you are. You turned up on some sexual stuff. She's turned up on some sexual stuff. Cool. Y'all, we both know that you guys have both kissed girls. We know that Atlanta air is very bisexual. And okay, that happened, right? So we see that clearly Portia is bisexual. We clearly heard her say somebody gonna eat me tonight. But she said that after the camera went off, which lets us know that several of you women in there are bisexual. It's not just Portia. That's just the one they decided to out her on camera. Do I think that Kenya is bisexual? I think she tried to be bisexual along with the ladies, and it didn't work out for her because the person that she tried to be bisexual along with wanted Portia. And I think that pissed her off, which was Latoya Ali, period. Okay. But Candy, she invited this man, and then you sit there, and first of all, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the fact that Candy have attached herself on, you know how people say Candy attach herself on to other people's friends and she become their friend. This is very true. Now, remember that Bolo was originally Phaedra Parks' friend. Remember that? Bolo originally danced for Phaedra Parks. And remember, she said that his ping pong was so big that he could fit it in his own mouth. And remember, Bolo was nabbing his own jabbing. Y'all remember this? Okay. Remember, he was nabbing that jabbing? Uh-huh. Y'all don't remember this? Okay. Don't act like you forgot. Uh-huh. Yeah, that happened. So all I'm saying is, Candy is not really to be the most looked at, the most best, in the best way anyway. People act like this woman is so innocent. I don't understand that. I don't understand how you guys came to that conclusion. I really don't. She walked around talking about sex. That's all demon and shit. Her and Kenya fit in really well with each other because of that. All of that stuff is all demon and shit they walk around doing, buddy. And you guys are like, oh yeah, Candy. I'm like, what? I don't get it. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I'm just saying. And she rode that fence all season after she herself introduced Bolo to the house. She chose to live in the past with Kenya, go down Kenya's dirty road with her and give Kenya an elevated voice. And I thought that sucked. I thought that sucked. I really did. I think if you're gonna say, Portia, I don't appreciate when you did that sex shit to me. So yeah, now I got you, bitch, because you did some other sex shit. Say that. Also, that is petty. But to ride the fence and be telling people, yeah, she fucked him, and then go around and telling them, no, I don't know. I didn't speak on that. Nah, I didn't know that. I did that. Yes, you did. You out here trying to make sure word to the street is. Okay, you out here trying to make sure word on the street is you definitely doing that, and that sucks. You know, I like Candy, but I thought that was really, really sucky of her to join in with Kenya being worried about Portia's wing wang. Now, I gotta say, they brought up a really good point. Candy brought up a really good point, and so did Kenya. They brought up really good points in regards to Portia. Okay, they said, okay, that Portia have on the show, because we are judging everyone by their past behavior, by the way. Yes, we are. That's why we feel like Candy's so good, and that's why we feel like Kenya's so annoying and miserable, because we're judging by past behavior, right? So Portia, they brought this up at the reunion, that Portia have gone after each of these women in different ways, bringing up either Mark, you know, and Bravo. So, you know, Andy is so petty. He ran that back, you know, and even, you know, even when they were talking about the wig with Drew Sidora, he kept, you know, banging that into the ringer. Like, well, what about the wig? Well, what about to the point where Drew Sidora had to apologize and say she could have did that different. You know what I'm saying? He just was, you know, banging that in there because he's so messy. So when it came to, you know, Portia talking about the situation with Mark, you know, they showed receipts. And Andy told you, Sadora, she got to have receipts about about profit lot. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. But but and then Candy said that once there was once an issue where Portia had said, well, what about you? You having a sexual relationship with a woman for 7 years. And I kind of understood Candy's point when they said that. You know, this, and also not only that, Kenya made an argument. Okay. Kenya made an argument that Portia is on a TV show, and instead of taking Bolo home, she decided to have sex with him in the cast house. Now, this all makes sense to me. Did it make sense the way she went after it? No, it kind of does though, because Portia stole her little girlfriend that she thought she was gonna have this season. You see what I'm saying? And so when Portia kissed her, she was disgusted with her. She was like, "I'm still your friend, but you're disgusting. Shut up. Don't raise your voice at me. I hate that." Okay, it changed. It changed. It definitely didn't stay the same. You know, Portia stole her little girlfriend. But when those were brought up, it all really made sense to me more. However, you know, I just feel like it was in bad taste for them to ride out the storyline of Portia's wing wang this season. I understood what they were saying as far as all that. I just felt like it was in bad taste for them to ride that out. Now, Candy, there's so many things that she could have done. She could have taken that damn show, you know, and then first of all, um, the fact that she even brought the sex dungeon back up, it makes me feel like it makes me feel like she's setting up, like she set up Portia, because she didn't put it on a national scale to where it's an actual show. She just did it for the Housewives, and then Portia went and did what she did. I think she set Portia up because she knows that Portia is hypersexual just based on her going to the club with her and all that stuff, you know. So I just feel like, just from it being that type of setup period, I feel like they knew what they was doing. I definitely can see this season more of Kenya than I've ever seen. And what I saw this season was that Kenya was very calculated. And that's the reason why she does not like Drew Sidora. I also got the chance to see that Drew Sidora is very calculated in everything she do. I mean, that argument with her husband, I'm talking about her bringing the wig, I'm talking about all of her arguments, her fights, the way she tried to go after Latoya Ali, and the way that her body movements were during that, and make sure she turned up when people had grabbed her. Everything is calculated with the both of those two ladies, you know. And I felt like I got the chance to see more of that this season from them. And I think that Candy being close to Kenya, I think that Kenya is only close to Candy because Candy is the big baller on the show. It was not Nene. It is not Nene. It's definitely Candy. And so I think that with that being said, I feel like they sat around and talked before because they really friends. And I feel like this is what it was. I feel like Portia came into this season with her guard down, and she felt like, oh, we're all hanging out, we're all friends. And the ladies was like, yeah, we finna play with this sex dungeon this season because, bitch, I got too much going on. I don't want them in my business like that. You know what I'm saying? So what are we gonna do? Because Riley leaving for college, and you know, me and Todd, we've been arguing lately, but of course we're not gonna put that on nobody camera. You know, it's not like we breaking up. So you know what I'm saying? All of that type of stuff. Those are real conversations that go down behind camera. Not to mention that you are shooting scenes over and over and over and over and over and over again. And so they might have wanted to make it fun for themselves, but I do truly believe that Portia was set up this season, and it's just no getting around it. I think that Candy set it up, and I think that um, Candy threw the ball, and Kenya hit it with the bat and sent it to field. And it was sad to watch the camaraderie again. Came into this with more of her top hat on, and that's period. Because just because she knows Kenya's character, period. I do understand, and they did run this back that last season. Last season, Kenya and Portia were really good friends, or supposed to be friends. And they, you know, they were supposed to be making up because of the baby and this, that, and the other. Um, and in the beginning of the season, Marlo and Kenya were not friends. And so when it came to like coming to her hair show with a band or whatever, or you know, Portia being late, Kenya wasn't trying to overdo calling her out, you know, but you could tell that there was something there that was boiling between the two, you know. I do have to say, I really, really do feel like Kenya was so calculated that she was able to pull Marlo in with her last minute. She was able to pull them in last minute, and it's unfortunate, but it's Kenya, Cynthia, Candy, and Marlo. And I hate that Cynthia's involved with it, but she's the older woman that's just like, well, I'm gonna just sit on this side and not say much, you know. I'm gonna play Shamia's role. I'm gonna do Shamia, you know. But she's definitely part of it. She's definitely a part of the effery, and she's chosen a side, you know. And you know, I watched something this season that I felt was very calculated, very set up, very nasty, and just straight like a target was put on Portia's back, you know. Marlo is definitely a follower. She kept saying on the show, not a follower, definitely a leader. No, you're a follower, sis. You followed behind this whole storyline. You said the whole time you knew what was happening with Portia, yet you sat there and had that whole conversation with her. You gave her hugs. Okay, we friends now, and all that stuff. And now y'all cool, and then you're not. Meanwhile, you, Candy, Kenya, and Cynthia is sitting up having secret conversations about Portia and her wing wang. And that's just period. They set the girl up. I mean, there's just no way to get around it. There's just no way to get around that, you know. But Portia, she seemed to be taking it all in stride. She seen it. She got up at one point at the reunion and walked around a little strut. It's all because of Portia. Portia, Portia, Portia. She gave us a little bit of that, you know, a little bit of Marsha Brady on them. And I wasn't mad at her. Like, I wouldn't care. I would be like, yeah, I fucked Polo and it was real good. Like, I would totally be like, oh yeah, that dude was the bomb diggity dot calm. Like, I would definitely get into it. Like, y'all got to give Bolo some of y'all pee. Like, when y'all meet him at a party, please give him some pee, because that's going to be the best night of partying that you ever had. My only thing is I felt bad for Tanya. Clearly, Portia and Tanya which I thought it was Portia and Latoya at first. I'm not even gonna lie. But clearly Portia and Tanya did a threesome. They were drunk. They were turned up. Tanya has that quiet bad girl inside of her where you'd be surprised at what she doing, but she gonna do it on the outside, on the inside and not on the outside. Like if she wasn't your friend, you would never know. You would be looking at her like she's such a sweet lady. Okay. And we know those are the freakiest ones. She in bed stuffing whole penises down her throat while we over here talking about on the tip. You understand what I'm saying? Because she lives her life on the inside versus the outside. So you got to understand the stuff that she's hiding. That means that she's hiding more freaky things than what we know, than what we need to. You feel me? I'm just saying. All right. So anyway, clearly Tanya had a little threesome with them, and I'm not mad at Tanya. Please get your threesome on. And I'm sure that she ate Portia, like Portia said, somebody gonna eat me tonight. I'm sure that she did. I'm sure that they had a ball. But the fact of the matter is that they're grown women, and who the freak cares? Like, but honestly, Kenya had a point. Like, y'all should have definitely went to the house with that. Y'all could have all left in Bolo's truck, in Bolo's car, and went back to his hotel room and let everybody speculate what was going on. Bolo knew he had a car coming to get him from Candy. Okay, and that's the messy stuff I'm talking about. Portia knows what her past is from Candy. Bolo knew he had a car sent to come pick him up from Don Juan from the Candy shop. Why didn't you guys all three just get in Bolo's car and just go to his hotel room? He had all his expenses paid. Why would you do that in the house? Why? Why? I don't get it. You could have got up 4 o'clock in the morning and came back. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I really don't. And so, Portia, while I do understand it is pathetic to go after her wing, I also feel that she should have handled that better, and she should have definitely had her top hat on this season. I can't get how it is that you come unprepared every season. What is going on, Portia? Step your game up on this show, please. I respect her for the Black Lives Matter movement that they showed this season. I thought that was really powerful. That was really great. And she deserved to get her some penis. She was going through a breakup, and she was doing Black Lives Matter, fighting for Breonna Taylor, getting arrested left and right. And she should have seen when they were spitting vitriol at her being at the Black Lives Matter thing, and nobody checked Kenya about spitting vitriol at that. Instead they laughed. They said, "Oh, girl," and "Oh, I'm not getting in that," and all that stuff. Instead of having a voice, instead of elevating Portia's voice for the cause or elevating the cause, they didn't do that. Portia should have seen at that point, that something was going to go awry, and unfortunately, she didn't. She didn't put two and two together. But they know that. They look at Portia less than intelligent. They look at her like she's a damn fool. They don't look at her like a smart woman. And so them knowing these things, these are the things that make her an easy target. And she just made herself so easy. Somebody gonna eat me tonight. All those little statements in front of these women. You might not want to make them statements seeing as to how seasons ago, you got to know the world goes in a circle. Throw that ad in a circle. Hey, you got to know it goes that way sometimes, and I just think she got to put her top hat on. She doesn't have her guard up. Girl, put on a motorcycle helmet, Portia, because I just don't understand how she just did not see this coming, especially when Kenya first came at her about that Black Lives Matter. I would have been all on top of her. I would have been like, I need to watch Kenya this season. And guess who was watching Kenya? Lauren is the one who didn't invite Kenya to Portia's stuff. Lauren, her sister, was more aware than Portia was, because Portia sometimes be aloof. And I just think that it came to bite her in the ass this season. Okay. The Portia's not innocent. None of them are. And that's a fact. Let's turn our attention to Prophet Lot. Oh my God. Not Prophet Lot. Oh my gosh, I can't. First of all, I'm disappointed in Drew Sidora. I really am. Like I said, I feel like she did too much for this notoriety on this season. I feel like she made a mockery out of God, prayer. I feel like she made a mockery out of prophets, out of the church, out of the church's healing, out of the prophet's healing. It just was just horrible. Um, and I really, really liked Drew Sidora, and that's the most disappointing part. She disappointed me on a scale that I cannot understand. I do not understand why it is that Drew decided to do this season the way that she did it. Okay. First of all, don't you ever introduce me to your mother. Okay. Tell me that your mother is a woman that does not know her own father because her mother was black and the father didn't want her in 60 some odd years. And you want to write a book, your mother is a pastor, and you're arguing with your husband, and then suddenly, skirt, stripper gay, you're really popping butt. The daughter of the priest, the dang on minister lady, the wife of Ralph, okay, the singer, the praise dancer in church. And then you turned on your own church on TV. I mean, wow. Wow. Talk about making the temple look like a place where you can't go for healing. I said, well, damn, Drew, who needs an enemy with friends like you? Okay. Who needs a demon in a church with members like you? You just make the whole church look bad like that. Why? Because you're mad at this girl. So you just spitting all this craziness out, making this church look really bad over a damn LaToya Ali, a church that you are a part of, that her mother sings at, that her mother preaches at. I just couldn't believe her. I was so disappointed. I couldn't even believe Drew at that point because she knows what she's doing. She knows what she's doing. She knows how she's making this pastor look. I mean, this prophet look. She knows how she's making the church look, and she chose to go for it. She chose to go for it over LaToya Ali. I wouldn't have done it for LaToya Ali. There's no way I would have done that to my church. Because you got to remember, I grew up in the church. I sang in the church. I've sang in the choir. I've done the praise dances. I've done all of these things. So I wouldn't have done that to my church for LaToya Ali. And I thought it was just in such poor taste that she did that for a profit lot. Now, first of all, I feel like she felt like she had one up on LaToya Ali once she invited LaToya to church. And LaToya said, "Oh, I'm going to stop drinking," and then she continued drinking. She felt like, "Oh, well, I'm your leader now. I'm your, I'm going to look out for you. I'm in charge of you." She didn't feel like, "I'm still praying for you, sis. I see you struggling." That's how that's supposed to be done. But she didn't do that. She was like, aren't you supposed to stop drinking all in front of the group? Knowing this is a grown woman, knowing this woman has her own mind, she decided to go for it and to have one up on her about it instead of, being real about it and being a real Christian. That's one thing that confuses me about Christians. They be having a lot of opinions instead of being Christian, like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of them don't practice what they preach. And I saw that with Drew Sidora. Kind of made me pretty upset, to be honest, because I feel like if LaToya is struggling with a disease such as a drinking problem, or if she is struggling with, something that's going on around her that's making her drink like that, such as her pending divorce, I feel like it's in poor taste for you to try to exploit that for a TV show and a storyline. Clearly, they didn't show what LaToya was really going through on the show, so we could only really imagine what was actually going on behind the scenes once she did go live, after the show wrapped, because of course she can't do it while the show is airing. So after the show wrapped, she started telling us what was really going on in her life, and it didn't have shit to do with Drew Sidora. But it was just sad to watch her sit there and try to exploit Latoya and what Latoya was going through like that, and make it a storyline. Like, you could, like, her storyline, Latoya could have got into some whole different things. We could have actually gotten to know what actually happened had Drew Sidora not did that and made it about her drinking and all of that. And not for nothing, I expect Bravo to do better. We've already gone through all of that with Monique Samuels on Real Housewives of Potomac. We turned around and we went through that with Ashley Darby. She was trying to get pregnant. Oh God, is Ashley Darby, actually trying to get pregnant, or is she just so into drinking? We've been through all of that. How many times are we going to replay that storyline before they get tired of it? Like, really, I'm being for real. How many times do we have to replay that? That's so ridiculous. I don't understand it. And for them to make this season and Latoya's storyline about that, it's almost like they're practicing a, if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of thing over there at Bravo. And that's not cute, Pooh. That is not cute. Okay? Because nobody wants to keep rewatching the same thing with different characters. And I felt like that's what we got the chance to see this season. With them allowing Drew Sidora to drag that out. They could have asked her to switch the narrative or anything. But, Drew Sidora, she started seeing the way that Kenya moved and how they were calculated. And then she started to replicate that behavior. And I didn't think it was cute at all. And as far as that wig, honey, throw that thing back on your head and walk around like the cheap, petty chick that you was acting like this season. Now, what I'm hoping and what I know is that they're going to give her another season. They've been begging for her to come on. I hope they give her another season. They could not. They could not. Okay? They could not. They could only give Latoya another season because Latoya got that juice. She definitely got the juice. Okay? But I'm hoping that they do, and I'm hoping we get the chance to see this thing play out in a different way. I just, when I saw the Prophet Lot thing, first of all, do I think that Latoya has something going on with Prophet Lot? No, I do not. I do not feel like that. I think like Latoya was probably crying, breaking down, and really talking to him about the real true stuff that was actually going on in her life versus being on a damn reality show with these chicken heads where they're not really showing what's actually going on with you. I think that the Prophet was getting inside information that we weren't getting watching this so-called reality show. Okay, that's what I think. And I think because of that, I think it made Drew Sidora feel some type of way because that man was getting what was real from Latoya, and they were having genuine conversations. And he probably was getting a surface conversation with Drew Sidora because she's on the show. So she probably was acting different with Prophet Lot, as we could see. Because now she's calling him a false prophet and all that on the reunion. I mean, that was just so tacky. I can't understand Drew Sidora's movements this season. She really disappointed me on a different scale. And I really can't call it as to why she would have chosen to go about this season this way. I don't even know if that is her mother's church or not. But even if it is her mother's church, that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. But anyways, child, they could have threw this whole season away as far as I was concerned. They can keep Latoya apologizing. I'm sorry, they can keep Drew Sidora apologizing for that nasty wig, please. Okay. They could keep Marlo trying to chime in on Portia's ping pang because they're not really interested in showing what's really going on in her life with her raising them two boys. For what reason, I don't know. But they sat there, give Kim Zolciak a dry 8 seasons of what, I don't know, on this show after she had baby after baby after baby after baby on camera. I mean, we just been in more of her wing wang than we need to be. I just don't understand that. Bravo, they need to do something different over there. I mean, she's drunk and being in people wing wang business. Do something else. What happened to the days when, like, they were showing us them doing music? We was throwing elaborate photo shoots and stuff like that and baby showers for Phaedra. Bring that back. And none of Phaedra said that she was going to be coming back. Phaedra is supposed to be coming back on the new season with some newbies. And I'm hoping that they do. I am positive that they're going to bring Kenya back, which disgusts me because I'm sure that Kenya and Phaedra need to discuss the Apollo storyline. Now, Candy is saying that if Phaedra comes back, because Candy is, Phaedra is actually the one who created the rumor with the sex dungeon. And see, that's what I don't understand about Candy and Kenya as well. They sat there, did this whole sex dungeon setup, and only for it to really turn out to only be Phaedra. And they keep bringing Portia up in it. This is a sad thing to watch, the dynamic that's going on. They literally targeted that girl, okay, over the sex dungeon. But the true person that brought that up is really Phaedra. And I think that's the reason why Bravo was like, okay, since they want to drag the sex dungeon, let's bring back Phaedra. Now, Candy have given them an ultimatum. She like, well, if you bring back Phaedra, I'm not coming back. Candy, goodbye. Okay, ain't nobody gonna miss it. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna miss it. Goodbye. You got enough money. I did not even enjoy you in the damn verses. I'm being honest with you guys. I'm sorry. Okay, I did not even enjoy her voice in the verses, and I just think she's just dry. I'm tired of seeing Don Juan get on. Like, if you want to go, go. Okay, if you want to leave, then leave and get on and go and whatever. However that song, pack your bags and get the hell on. Okay, whatever. Because I'm not getting ready to keep doing this with Candy. Like, and the fact that she's even like, yeah, I might leave. But what she said was she's always thinking about when is the right time to leave the Real Housewives. She doesn't know if it's the right time for her brand or not. She don't know if it's the right time to leave for her restaurants or not. She just don't know. Well, we gonna see. I'm sure gonna be waiting to see. And guess what? I'm not gonna make sure if you're gone, but don't take LaToya with you because I want to see that hot mess occur. Then go ahead and replace Kenya with LaToya. Replace Candy with Drew. No, that's not a replacement, but replace Shamia with Drew. Or Marlo with Drew, because she ain't even got half the storyline Drew got. And didn't Marlo have a peach this season and still didn't have a storyline outside of Portia Wing Wang? Are you kidding me? And then Marlo gonna say, well, she didn't go to Kenya's house because they're taking baby moves. No, because the plot for the storyline was over. That's why. The plot was over. There was no reason to go to Kenya's house to continue to discuss, Portia or what was going on the season, or continue to try to fake be friends, because you guys are not friends. And you only was friends because of what was going on the season in Portia's Wing Wang. So that's all I'm saying. Anyways, guys, but that concludes my little season wrap. They need to do something else. This didn't work. It won't work. Okay. And I tweeted them. I said, bravo. I said, this was the most ridiculous season I've ever seen. Don't you ever waste my time like that again. Sure did. I told them, don't you ever make me spend my time sitting back watching this hot messery for no good reason. And came to no good conclusions. Now, let me tell you something. What if Portia didn't even sleep with Bolo? What if he just ate her butt all night? He did say, long as I got a face, you got a place to sit. Hello, he said that. Now, what if she just got that cat ate all night like Hannah from Summer House? Okay? See, people just be in people business. You got a butt out. But they set that girl up. Let me know what y'all think, guys. Leave it down below. Make sure you guys like and subscribe.